demonstrating that air supports burning. Demonstrating that air supports burning. Now, before we start today's lesson, let's look at our homework. Number 1. State 3 qualities of good drinking water. State 3 qualities of good drinking water. 2. Now, these are our answers. Good drinking water must be tasteless. It must be tasteless. 2. It must be odorless. It must be odorless, no scent. 3. It must be free from harmful particles. There shouldn't be any particles in the water. Number 2. Give 3 qualities that contribute to wastage of water. Give 3 qualities, that's three activities that contribute to wastage of water. 1. Using too much water to wash dishes. 2. Not repairing leaking pipes. And 3. Leaving the tap on when brushing your teeth. Question number 3. State 3 ways of conserving water. State 3 ways of conserving water. 1. Not using too much water to wash dishes. Not using too much water to wash dishes. 2. Turning off taps when brushing your teeth. Turning off taps when brushing your teeth. 3. Flushing toilet with enough water. Flushing toilet with enough water. Good. Now today's topic. Demonstrating that air supports burning. Now before we start the lesson, let's look at the lesson objectives. Lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to 1. Mention the components of air. Mention the components of air. 2. List 2 uses of air. List 2 uses of air. And 3. Describe an activity, an experiment to show that air supports burning. Describe an experiment to show that air supports burning. So these are our lesson objectives for today. Now, the question says, what is air? What is air? Now, air is invisible mixture of gases that surrounds the earth. Air is the invisible mixture of gases that surrounds the earth. Invisible means you cannot see with our eyes. You cannot see it. Good. Air is a mixture. So we are looking at composition of air. Composition of air. Now air is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and some other gases. Air is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and other gases. So when we consider air to be in a circle, we have nitrogen 78%, we have oxygen being 21%, carbon dioxide 0.04%, and other gases, mostly argon 0.96%. So these are the composition of air. Now, 2 gases, that is nitrogen and oxygen, make up the bulk of air in our atmosphere. So look at the nitrogen, we have 78%, and then oxygen being 21%. They are the bulk of air in our atmosphere. Good. Now, composition of air. Now plants produce oxygen while making food. So the plants use water, sunlight, energy from the sun to prepare their food. Now as they are making their food, they produce oxygen. They produce oxygen. Then oxygen is the composition, one of the composition of air. Now oxygen is the most important gas needed for all living things to stay alive. Oxygen is the most important gas needed for all living things to stay alive. Now plants gives us oxygen. Human beings, we breathe in. Human beings and animals, we breathe in oxygen. So oxygen is the most important gas needed for all living things to stay alive. As I was saying, human beings, animals, and plants breathe in oxygen. Human beings, animals, and plants breathe in oxygen. Now plants, they don't breathe in oxygen. Plant take in carbon dioxide and brings out oxygen, and the oxygen we use in for breathing. We breathe in oxygen. So animals and human beings, we breathe in oxygen. Good. Human beings, animals, and plants breathe in. Now I was saying plants does not take in oxygen. Plant takes in carbon dioxide. Good. Now let us watch this activity. Let us watch this activity. Now these plants need water. So it has been covered with the buckets. Now look at, after 3 days, you see that the plant is dying. So plants, they need water. So the plant dies at, it did not get air to breathe. So it didn't get air, not water, it's air. Because it was covered, there was no air entering. So it dies. Good. Oxygen makes the air clean too. Oxygen makes the air clean too. So the oxygen in the atmosphere, plants gives us oxygen. So the oxygen in the air makes the air clean. Good. So look at the girl enjoying the clean air, oxygen in the atmosphere. Good. Now we are coming to look at properties of air. Properties of air. Now we cannot see air. We cannot see air, but we can feel it. When it blows, you feel it. The air is blowing. But with your naked eyes, you cannot see air. So one of the properties of air is that we cannot see air, but we can feel it. Good. We cannot see air. Look at the girl feeling the air, the presence of air, and she's enjoying the air around her. Look at this girl. Yes. The next one is air fills up space. Air fills up space. So let's look at the boy. Yes. Yes. He has blown air into the balloon. This shows that air fills up space. Let's look at another one. Air has no shape. The air that blows around us has no shape. It gives shape to what it occupies. So let's look at this there has no air. This one has no air, so no shape. Let's look at it. Let's look at the second one. It has air, and it has shape. Look at it, very nice shape. Good. Now air has weights. Air has weights. Let's look at this one too. Air has weights. So this one, look at the weights, 0.0003. When you weight and look at this one, because more weight, it has more weight. Look at it, 0.0017. So when you weight, you get the weights of the objects. So air has weights. Air has weights. Let's consider this video too. We have 1 meter rule, and we have balloon. One here, another here. And let's look at it. Let's look at it. This shows that they are equal in weight. They are equal. The balloon, the air in it is equal. So let's look at it. Yes. This shows that this one is heavier than this. This one is heavier than this. Good. So air has weight. Air has weight. So these are the properties of air. Now we are coming to look at uses of air. Uses of air. What do we use air for? The air around us. What do we use it for? 1. Human beings and animals breathe in oxygen and bring out carbon dioxide. So oxygen and carbon dioxide, they are the components of air. So we human beings, we take in oxygen. Human beings and animals, we take in oxygen, and then we bring out carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide, plants also use it. Plant, they also use the carbon dioxide. Good. So this is uses of air. One of the uses of air. 2. Human beings and animals breathe oxygen. Breathing oxygen is the same thing. So we have animal. The first one was a human being, and this one is an animal. Good. So plants, all plants use air. As I was saying, they use carbon dioxide to prepare their own food. Plants use carbon dioxide to prepare their own food. And they bring out oxygen. And we human beings and then animals, we also use the oxygen that they bring out. So plants use sunlight, as we can see on our screen. Look at this picture. The plant, they use sunlight, they use carbon dioxide, water in the soil, some nutrients in the soil to prepare their food, including the carbon dioxide as the air we are talking about now. They use it to prepare their food. Good. Plants, the plants store some of their food for human beings and animals to eat. So the stored food are here. Some of the stored food by plants. We have mango, we have apple, we have pineapple, banana, pear, and grapes, others. So the plants store some of their food for human beings and animals to eat. Another type of food that they store, the food that they store, we have vegetables. Yeah, we have some vegetables. We have pepper, sweet pepper. We have tomatoes, cabbage, carrot, cucumber, and others. So some of the food that they store are on our screen. So after preparing, they store the food for us and we also enjoy. We have some food too that they store. We have cassava, cocoyam, yam, and then plantain. So some of the food that they store are on our screen. So plants store some of their food for human beings and animals to eat. And we eat, we get energy, we grow good. Now, the air that is around us, its uses. One of the uses of air is we inflate, that is fill footballs with air. We inflate, fill footballs with air. So look at this football. Let's look at it. Yes, and we can fill in air. Good. Now we inflate car and bicycle tires with air. Without the air, it cannot move. Air should be filled in it before it can move. So we inflate car and bicycle tires with air. So let's look at it. Yes, now it can move. And then bicycle. The man is pumping air inside the bicycle and it can move. So we inflate car and bicycle tires with air. Good. Air is needed to make things burn. Air is needed to make things burn. So if you want to burn anything, there should be presence of air. Other than that, it cannot burn. It will never burn when there is absence of air. So air is needed to make things burn. When you are making fire and there is no air, you can't burn anything that you want to. Good. Air is needed in metal work such as welding. So what the man is using is air to weld metal objects. So that is it. Air is needed in metal work such as welding. The next one is farmers also use air for winnowing. So look at the man. Yes, separating the chaffs from the rice. We need air. So look at the fan is there to blow all the chaffs away, leaving the maize, rice, leaving the rice. Yes, so air is used for winnowing. Farmers also use air for winnowing. Good. We are coming to combustion. Combustion. Now the process of burning under the presence of air, that is oxygen. Most of the air that we use in burning is oxygen. So the process of burning under the presence of air, that is oxygen, is known as combustion. Combustion is the process of burning under the presence of air, that is oxygen. Now we are coming to do something, an experiment, to show that air supports burning. Experiment to show that air supports burning. So what we will need, things needed. We need 2 candles, matches, and then glass jar. We need 2 candles, matches, and then glass jar. These are the things that we will need. Let's continue. So 1, light the 2 candles. So let's watch this video. Light the 2 candles. The next one, Air is needed to make things burn. So let's look at what will happen here. The 2 candles has been lightened. So let's look at it. What will happen? We are using the glass jar to cover one. And let's look at what is happening. Yes. The first one is off because of the glass jar. What do you think is the cause? As we were saying, because there was no air, the fire is off, or the light is off. The light is off. Good. Now good. We have come to the summary of today's lesson. We talked about the properties of air. The properties of air. We talked about the composition of air. What is made up of air? And we said we have oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and other gases. We also talked about the uses of air. Plants take in oxygen. Animals take in oxygen. Plants takes in carbon dioxide. And then we inflate car tires, bicycle tires with air. Air is used as winnowing and others. And we performed an experiment to show that air supports burning. We used 2 candles, we lighted them, we covered one with glass jar, and we saw that the one covered with glass jar, the light went off because of the absence of air, that is oxygen, around it. It was off. So this shows that air supports burning. Air supports burning. Good. Now we have come to the end of our lesson. Now before we go, let's test ourselves on demonstrating that air supports burning. So we are coming to look at 5 questions. Look at it carefully and think about the answers. So question number 1. Which 2 gases make up the bulk of the atmosphere? The first one is nitrogen and hydrogen. Second one, carbon and oxygen. And the third one, oxygen and nitrogen. Now, which one is the answer? Which one did you think in your mind? That is oxygen and nitrogen. Oxygen and nitrogen. Good. Question number 2. Which is the second most plentiful gas in the air? Which is the second most plentiful gas in the air? We have oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Now, which one is in your mind? And the answer is oxygen. Oxygen. Good. Question number 3. Plants use dash to make their food and release dash. Plants use dash to make their food and release dash. We have nitrogen and oxygen. We have carbon dioxide and oxygen. We have water vapor and hydrogen. Which one? That is carbon dioxide and oxygen. Now, plants use carbon dioxide to make their food and release oxygen. Now, the oxygen, animals and plants, we also use it for breathing. The fourth one is burning cannot take place without dash. Burning cannot take place without dash. We have water, air, and zinc. Water, air, and zinc. Which one? Which one? Air. and the air is the oxygen. Oxygen. So burning cannot take place without air, and the air is oxygen. The last question. The process of burning in the presence of oxygen is known as the process of burning in the presence of oxygen is known as dash. We have respiration, combustion, reaction. Respiration, combustion, reaction. Now, which one is the answer? Good. Combustion. So the process of burning in the presence of oxygen is known as combustion. Combustion. Good. Now, you have done very well. Now, let's take our homework for today's lesson. List 4 components of air. Question 1. List 4 components of air. Question number 2. Mention 3 properties of air. Mention 3 properties of air. And 3. Explain why a lighted candle goes off when covered with a jar. Explain why a lighted candle goes off when covered with air. Now I'll give you a few minutes to copy the homework. So copy the homework. Okay, well done, learners. I hope you have copied the homework. Sit down and then solve. Next time when we meet, we shall discuss it. Until then, stay safe and learn hard. Bye-bye.